Hello everybody, I'm going to divide this video in four different segments. The first one is an open box, the next one is a pre-wiring, the next one is going to be the installation of the radio, and then the last one is going to be the installation of the camera, which is a little bit tricky but is possible to do it. Okay, so we're going to start with the open box, and as you can see, it comes with a bunch of cables and also the car radio. Okay, so in the box, we're going to find a troubleshooting, a quick start guide, installation guide for Toyota Universal. We're going to find the radio itself, which is pretty cool. And it's actually a big upgrade for a Toyota Camry. This is actually from 2006 all the way to 2011. And as you can see in the back, it has all the different sockets so you can put the different cables. Okay, so this one is basically the master power cable. They're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 different connections, which at the end you're only going to use 3. You're going to find a microphone. You're going to find the GPS antenna along with USB cables, 2 USB cables. And we're also going to find RCA cables where you can connect the reverse camera and also the audio cable. And also we're going to find the rear camera with the extension cable that you need to connect all the way to the back. There is also a frame removal tool and the reversing control cable, which has the Wi-Fi antenna and the Bluetooth antenna, as well as documentation, installation guide, the troubleshooting guide, and the user manual. Okay, so now we're gonna pre-wire the car stereo before the installation. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna connect the power cable, which is located on the left side, and you can use this troubleshooting guide or the installation guide for Toyota Universal to guide you through this. But you can also watch this video or put it in pause and review it again. So that one goes there. And then we're going to connect the GPS cable. I'm probably going to do it after connecting, so that way it's not in the way, but this is the way you do it. And then we're going to connect the reversing control camera, which also, this cable is very important because it has the Bluetooth antenna and the Wi-Fi antenna. It's a little bit tricky to connect, so you have to pull the clip a little bit up and then insert it again. Okay, the next one is going to be the RCA cable, where you're going to find the input for the external microphone, which I'm connected right now, but at the same time, I'm going to do it when we start the radio, so that way it's not on the way. But for sure, I'm going to install the USB cable, and this is on the third socket. As you can see, this cable is basically to connect straight to your phone, so it's more faster than Bluetooth, apparently. Okay, so now let's install the car. It's really easy. Okay, this is the part. What we gotta do first, we're gonna remove the shift handle, but just by twisting it, as we do in the video. And then we're gonna remove the 2 sides of the radio. All we do is just pull them out, actually. And then we're gonna remove the shift cover case, which is also, all we gotta do is just pull out, and it will be out. But this time I'm gonna turn the car on. I'm gonna put it on second shift, but don't forget to put the brakes too, so that way the car doesn't move anywhere. And then I'm gonna pull it out. There's one connection on the bottom, and all you gotta do is just to press the clip to remove it. I know it's a little tough to get it out at first, but once you learn how to do it, it's pretty easy. All you gotta do is just press this clip right here, and it should be released pretty easy. Okay, next we're gonna remove the compartment, and what we gotta do is put the shift on second again, and then we're gonna remove the screws that are on the sides. Or maybe you can remove the screw first, and then put them on second shift, pull it out, and then you're gonna find things that you thought you lost them. All right, I'm gonna put in second shift, pull the case out, and behind there's 2 other clips that you had to remove. Like I said before, it's pretty easy. All you gotta do is just press it down, the little click here. It's not really that complicated on 2 of them, and then they should come out pretty easy. Okay, so now we have to remove the ventilator compartment, which is pretty easy. I'm using the frame removal tool this time, even though you can pull it yourself with a little strength, but you're gonna use the removal tool, which can actually help me out to make it faster and no problem. And there's another connection in the back here that you have to do the same thing. You're gonna click on it and it will come out. I know it might be a little hard at the beginning, but once you learn how it's done, it's pretty easy. Okay, so now inside here, there's 4 screws that takes a 10 millimeter ratchet. So we gotta do 1 and 2 on the top and 1 and 2 on the bottom. So we gotta remove those 4s. And once we get them out, all you gotta do now is to pull out the radio. And we're gonna proceed to disconnect all the different connections, which is 3 of them for this particular unit, along with the FAM radio and the AM radio connections. All right, so I have it out. So what I'm gonna do, remove these metal plates from both sides, and I'm gonna install the new car radio. Okay, so in here, I'm gonna remove all the screws on both sides. I could have done it in my car, but my neighbor was smoking, so I had to bring it upstairs. Shame on her. Anyway, so all I'm gonna do is just place the radio there and slide it to the right. Blank, and it clicks. One thing that I noticed that when I put back the plates, I only put against the sides. I mean, the radio didn't have no screws to attach it to it. So basically, I'm just attaching to the bottom plate of this radio right here, as you can see. It's not connected at all with the metal plates, as you can tell right now. All I did was connect 2 screws on the bottom to the bottom part of the radio, which is the temperature adjustments. And that works, to be honest. All right, so we're ready, and then we're gonna go back. Okay, now first thing we'll do is attach the reverse cable for the camera, which is the blue cable and the brown cable, and then we had to tape it up, and then we connect the 2 yellow connections. And then I'm gonna attach the GPS antenna, and I fit it through the box compartments. As you can tell in this video, you can pause and go back so you can check it out. I think I went too fast. And another thing I gotta do is to connect the microphone and the radio antenna. Okay, so I just turn up the car and it actually is working. All right, so the cable of the camera went all the way down under the shift area, all the way underneath the seat, and it sent it over all the way to the back. And the microphone and the USB cable, I was able to fit it through to a small door into the lower compartment, as you can see in the video. Very cool. And this is how it looks when it's done. So now let's move on to installing the camera. Okay, so before we install the camera, we had to remove the carpet that is attached to the door of the trunk, and we had to remove these bumper fender retainers. There are about 10 of them, and you can remove it by using a flat screwdriver or something similar and pull them out. Some of those might break, so at the end, I'll tell you where to get them. Okay, so when I opened the trunk, I realized there is actually a cable that you can pull, and when you pull the cable, the back seats will open. That way, I was able to feed my cable through the seat instead of removing the side part of the seat, which is easier, as you can tell. So I did remove that and fit it through there, obviously by the door, fit it underneath, and I went under the seat, and the cable is actually coming through the shift area of the car. It's actually more convenient to do this way. Okay, so in the trunk, there's 5 different screws you had to remove. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there's also a couple clips you had to push out so that way you can remove the logo area. In my case, I couldn't remove the logo area. There's actually one clip that's white and I was able to pull them out, but at the end it broke. But the one clip that is underneath the logo is really hard to remove. So what I did was I fit the cable through the one clip, the white clip, they broke. So I didn't have to create any holes. What I did was to crack this cable of the camera in 2 so that way I can fit it through. But I had to retape. So there's 3 cables in this cable. They had to retape it with weak electrical tape. So I pretty much used my knife because I didn't have the specific tool that you use to cut the cables. But it works. It took me a little time extra, but I did it. So basically I prepared them here and I took it downstairs so that way I can fit it through the hole and connect it back together back in the trunk. Okay, so now what I gotta do is just fit it back through the hole, tape it, and connect it back together. And the rest of the cables, you can see it was already fit through the back of the trunk, and I put zip ties to it so that way it's more secure. And also the ending part was gonna connect with the other cables. But anyway, so it's kind of hard to tell from here this space, but the hole's there. So what I did, I just fit it through there, hide the cable underneath, and I taped the camera right in the middle of the logo, and it works. Okay, so these are wire tap connections. And what it does, they connect the cable that comes from the camera to the cables that are on the backing light of your car. So I'm going to start with the red cable. Notice that this tap has two holes, one on the back and one on the front. The one in the back has a little wall, so I'm going to connect the cable that comes from the camera onto the lower hole all the way against the wall inside there. And the cable that connects to the backlight, in this case the red one, I'm going to put it on the open hole of the tap. And when I'm ready, I'm gonna use some pliers and I'm gonna press the guillotine that you can see. That's a piece of metal there. Is a guillotine. So I hold the red cable from the camera all the way against the little wall inside there, and when I'm ready, I'm just gonna press it down, and that will connect the two cables. And once I'm done, I'm just gonna clip the red tab, and so that way the metal thing is not exposed. So that way it doesn't create any short circuits. And the same thing I'm going to do with the black cable. In this case, I'm going to connect it to the black and white cable that is right there. I'm going to connect the black cable first on the hole that has a little wall, which is the one on the back. And then I'm going to connect the black and white cable on the open hole of the tab. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to hold the black cable against the wall, get my pliers, press it down, and when I'm done, clip it. It's actually really easy to do. It will save you a lot of time. I think I spent more time going to Home Depot and buying these tabs. But there you go. This is how you do it. So one thing that I do is to make sure it's more secure, I just tape it with electrical tape around, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so once we tape it, it's time to test it out to see if it works. So we're gonna go up in the front. Let's turn out the car. Don't turn off the car, just turn the switch on. Initially put it on reverse, and voila, it works. Job done. And that's pretty cool. I mean, my car went from 2009 to 2019. It's a big upgrade. So now let's go back to the trunk and put the carpet back. And I know for sure you broke some of those bumper retainers and you need to get new ones. And I'm going to show you where to get them. And in the meantime, we're going to place the carpet the way it's supposed to be. When I started removing the carpet, I actually broke many of these. So I had to go back and get new ones. And you can purchase these on AutoZone. And here's the number. They're called Bumper Fender Retainer by Toyota. And it's 459-8070. They're about $5. But that's what I use. It's like that because I actually step with the car like that. I run them over. But anyways, here's the model, the number that you had to buy to replace those retainers. All right, so this process is not too bad, to be honest. It's just a matter of doing it. I mean, it took me a couple hours, but I'm just putting this in 15 minutes or maybe 16 minutes. But it could be less if you use the proper tools. Don't forget to use screwdrivers and the 10mm ratchet with extension tool. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.